Are you looking for a new way to use triangles in your next quilt? You should try split half square triangle units. They're great for pinwheels, borders, and more. And today I'm going to show you the obvious method for making these, cutting triangles and sewing them back together. So to cut triangles for the split half square triangle unit, we're going to begin with 3 squares. Now the smaller square is actually going to be for the larger triangle, and that is because this is a half square triangle. So to figure out the size of square, you take the finished size piece that you want and add 7/8 of an inch. So in our case, we want a 3-inch finished piece. So we cut a 3 7/8 inch square and then cut it on the diagonal. The other 2 pieces for the smaller triangles, these are going to be quarter square triangles. So that's why these are bigger. They will actually give us 4 pieces. And so that formula is finished size plus 1 1/4 inch. So a 3-inch square plus 1 1/4. So these are 4 1/4 inches, and they will be cut in the diagonal both ways. So now we have these pieces cut, and we can easily see how they go together. So this method does give us other pieces, so it's good if you want to make multiple versions. So we're going to need one of these, and one of those. And you can see how it goes together. So we'll begin with sewing the 2 smaller triangles together. So once these have been stitched together, then we'll open and press toward the darker triangle. So now that that's pressed, we'll join those together. And be careful stitching and pressing because this is all bias edges and it will stretch really easily. So feed it through slowly, don't zoom it through, and when you're pressing, use an up and down motion with the iron, not back and forth. So now that these have been stitched together, we're going to open and press the seams toward the large triangle, even if it's a lighter color, because that will eliminate having this much bulk in the seam. So here we have our finished piece, and it's going to be 3.5 inches square, because if the finished size is 3 inches, we still need 1/2 inch for the seam allowance. So we can trim off these little dog ears either with rotary cutters or with scissors, and then we're done. So we have a perfect split half square triangle. Now some people prefer to cut their triangles bigger, stitch them together, and then trim them down to size. And this is an excellent strategy if you're having trouble getting the right size. So what's good about this method for making split half square triangles? It's intuitive. You stitch the pieces together in an obvious way. And there's no marking. And what's not good about it? It is tricky math to figure out what size squares to cut. And there are bias edges to deal with. When should you use this method? It's fine as long as you cut and stitch accurately. It's easier if you have a special ruler or a die for cutting. And it's good for scrappy quilts when you want to use a lot of different fabrics. It's good in some situations, so I give it 3 thimbles out of 5.